Merry Christmas, everyone! Last year, it was all about that weird Rudolph movie, but this year, I might have a festive animated film that's even more obscure. This is The Snow Queen, and I've had this VHS since before I knew how to walk. It's one of those huge bumper packs with 2 tapes inside. Remember those? I used to love them. At the time they felt like a big treat. It would always be so exciting to get twice the content, even if these things did take up a massive amount of shelf space. So this movie was released sometime in 1995, but apart from that, I know virtually nothing about it. According to the end credits, it was a production by HTV, the old Welsh version of ITV, so it must have been shown on telly at some point, but I had no idea about that at the time. I just assumed it was a direct-to-video thing. But what I do know is that I used to watch this tape an awful lot back then, usually with a bit of ice cream on the side. You know, like a Zap or something, not the hard stuff or anything. I guess it put me in a cold, wintry mood. So let's bundle up and see if this really is the Queen of Christmas movies. Oh, the memories. Every time I see this logo, it's like getting smacked in the face by the 90s. So we begin with the legend of the evil Snow Queen, who lives in a sinister palace at the North Pole. But it's just a story being read by the granny of 2 kids called Ellie and Tom, who can't get enough of jigsaw puzzles because I guess there's no PlayStation in wherever this is.
I should probably grow up to be a genius.
Huh. When we've finished, we'll play drafts, and then we'll see who the genius is.
But it turns out the Snow Queen is real, and using her troll minions to build some kind of giant flying machine.
If you two don't stop messing about...
What a bunch of bumbling baboons. The lead troll is actually voiced by David Jason, if you can believe it. Yes, Del Boy himself.
The Snow Queen will feed us to her bats. Do you understand me?
And the Snow Queen is played by Helen Mirren, so this movie has quite the notable British voice cast. She definitely gives the Snow Queen's voice a neat, sinister edge.
It will get cold. Very, very cold.
So the trolls are using this machine to transport the Snow Queen's magic mirror, which will reflect all sunlight and turn the world to ice.
It will freeze over. And then it will be mine.
Yeah, just call her Mrs. Freeze while you're at it.
Come on, Maggie! Turn the handle!
Turning the handle, Eric!
I actually kind of like all this mechanical stuff. It's aesthetically pleasing somehow. The trolls try to get the mirror into place on a mountaintop, and it's more like watching a housewife dealing with shoddy workmen.
You will secure that hook quite firmly, won't you? This mirror is extremely beautiful and valuable.
She shouldn't be that surprised. I mean, don't you know what happened the last time these guys tried to put some furniture up? Of course, the troll set up the mirror wrong, and it smashes, sending the pieces flying all over the land. Somehow, 2 of the pieces end up falling into Tom's eye and his heart. This is one of those things that gave me invisible pain as a kid. My eye would just be itching watching this. The evil power of the pieces turns Tom into a real meanie, and like any good sibling, he takes it out on his sister.
Now I'll have to start all over again.
Bad luck.
But it does give him the ability to put together jigsaws really quickly, and as a kid who wasn't that great at jigsaws, there was something oddly satisfying about this. The Snow Queen sends out her evil bats, yes, she has those, to recover the missing pieces of the mirror, but when she discovers that 2 are still missing, she decides to capture Tom to get them back.
I shall have to fetch them myself.
When Tom and Ellie go sledding, they hitch up to the Snow Queen's sled, which is pulled by reindeer that can also transform into giant bats. That's pretty ace. The Snow Queen makes off with Tom, while Ellie crashes into the snow, but she bumps into this sparrow called Peeps, voiced by Hugh Laurie. Yes, House Hugh Laurie.
Who knows what internal injuries I've got? Oh, this could have repercussions on my state of health for years.
I guess after Blackadder, good paying work was hard to come by.
Cheap. Cheap.
Still, he's fairly charming. I mean, he has the little scarf and everything, come on.
She's too young. She's too small. Wait!
Ellie wants to find Tom, and she sets off for the Snow Queen's palace, with Peeps tagging along with her. Meanwhile, the Snow Queen plays nice with Tom, and since it's like a giant puzzle, he agrees to put the mirror back together for her.
My dearest possession, smashed into pieces.
That's all right, I'll mend it for you.
I'm sure he has a bright future with her.
You will certainly receive a suitable reward.
After a trip through some creepy woods, Ellie and Peeps find this random house where nothing is affected by winter. It's pretty strange, but they meet a sweet old lady and her friendly cat Cuddles, who I'm sure will pose no threat whatsoever to them.
Sleep well.
Thank you, I will. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Yeah, no prizes for guessing that this old lady is actually an evil witch who wants to take out Ellie's heart so she can complete her elixir of life.
My elixir of life will make me rich and powerful and eternally young.
This is starting to feel like the Tom and Jerry movie again, where every grown-up just turns out to be a diabolical fiend. Is this like the mother of Dr. Applecheeks? She even gets her own villain song, like the movie suddenly remembered that it's a musical.
The only thing that's needed to complete my potion of backward motion is a little girl. And now that I have found her, I'll be on my way back. What a payback. Welcome to my world.
To be fair though, the songs actually aren't that bad here. They're certainly a big step above anything in the Rudolph movie, and honestly, quite catchy in some places.
Once returned to bridges burned, we'll have it all and more. With Ellie's heart, we'll plot a chart from now into before.
The witch traps Peeps in a jar and locks Ellie up in her convenient prison cell, but Peeps escapes and gets the key so he can free Ellie, and they trap the witch and her cat down in the basement, presumably leaving them both to a slow, painful death by starvation. Bit dark for a You movie, isn't it? Next, they run into these two talking birds, who you'd think would just be another pair of nutters, but they're actually helpful.
I'm looking for my brother.
Do you have proof of that, miss?
Don't be silly, Les. Of course she doesn't have proof. She'll have the proof when she's found him.
But how come these are giant birds, and Peeps is just a normal one? What kind of fantasy world does this movie exist in? Turns out these two work at the royal palace, and they agree to help Ellie become a servant so she can meet the prince, who Ellie thinks might be her brother. They even sing a song while they train her, which is a bit of an earworm.
Take my word that what they've heard is what they hope to see, and you're highly recommended when you're recommended by me.
You're highly recommended when you're recommended by him.
But when Ellie meets the prince, it's obviously not Tom, but the prince and princess help her out by giving her some transport. Frankly, I'm amazed. The way this movie was going, I was almost expecting them to be raving cannibals who want to eat her for dinner.
Bye. Good luck. Bye. Cheerio. Toodle pip.
So they give her this funky vehicle to drive around in, which is actually fairly creative. And as they journey through the land, Hugh Laurie sings another earwormy song that sticks in my head.
I just can't close the door. Can't resist it anymore. No, I just can't close the door on the open road.
But on their way, they end up running into the sinister Rat King. A lot of royalty in this movie, isn't there?
Who am I supposed to rob and kill if there's nobody here?
He's a sleazy scumbag voiced by Rick Mayall, which is pretty appropriate casting. And if you don't know who Rick Mayall is, then do your sense of humour a favour and go watch Bottom.
A vehicle! Smash and grab! Kidnapping! If I had transport, I could really branch out.
The rats ambush Ellie and Peeps, stealing their vehicle, and the Rat King gives Ellie over to his weird daughter, who's some kind of ballerina rat who wants to keep her as a maid for some reason.
Daddy, can I have her? I'd like a servant.
Of course, my dear.
She's like a psychopathic Angelina Ballerina. While he works on the mirror, Tom overhears the troll saying that the Snow Queen will kill him once he's finished to get the final pieces, and he confronts her about her plan.
Are you not enjoying your work here?
Well, I suppose so.
Of course you are.
But the Snow Queen just butters him up and gives him a kiss, turning him into her servant. Talk about the kiss of death. All the rats start having a big booze up, and we even get the pleasure of a Rick Mayall villain song.
I'm down and dirty, and so it's understood. Every morning I get up, I'm up to no good.
Might as well be his theme tune.
When I'm dead, let it be said, he was really rotten. When he's dead, let it be said, he was really rotten.
While Ellie is tied up, she encounters Dimly, a stolen reindeer who's a very sweet guy.
I'm sorry. I was trying not to frighten you. I thought if I cleared my throat first instead of just suddenly saying something, straight out suddenly, it might be better.
What's with all the cute reindeer in these Christmas movies? Peeps unties Ellie, and they escape on Dimly, who takes them to his flying reindeer school, because that's apparently a thing in these parts, and so is singing about it. The school is run by Frida, who's some kind of mage or something, and she agrees to go with them to the Snow Queen's palace to rescue Tom.
Wouldn't it be better if you took somebody who flies better than me?
Don't talk such nonsense, Dimly. You'll be perfectly all right. I'll instruct you as you go.
At the palace, they run into the trolls, who refuse to let them in under any circumstances.
I'd be so grateful if you could take me to him.
Whoa, all right then.
Great guards, these guys. Ellie finds Tom just as he finishes the mirror, but he's basically a robot now and won't listen to her.
I must finish. Where are the pieces?
Tom!
I must find the pieces. Get away from me, I must find the pieces! Get out! Get out!
But Frida brews up a special potion to restore him to normal.
My super effective and fast-acting potion, especially for dissolving pieces of mirror out of people's eyes and hearts.
That's oddly specific. However, the Snow Queen attacks, freezing the trolls and Frida before they can help, but the potion ends up smashing onto the mirror, somehow generating a giant tornado? Don't ask me how this is supposed to work. The Snow Queen runs away, but the tornado chases her down, freezing her as she tries to escape. It seems like Tom is dying from the Snow Queen's kiss, but the tears of Ellie and Peeps help to nurse him back to health. Did the first Pokemon movie just completely rip this off?
Tom, we thought you were dead. What has she done to you?
I don't remember, Ellie.
Children, we must leave here. You can talk as we go.
Everyone is unfrozen, everything's fine and dandy, and Tom and Ellie head for home on Dimly's back. But then we get this creepy close-up of the Snow Queen's eye, I guess implying that she'll be back. Well, she did come back in The Snow Queen's Revenge. Yeah, this is the other tape in the pack, an actual sequel. This came out 1 year later in 1996, and amazingly, it's a direct sequel, picking up exactly where the first movie left off. It's kind of refreshing to see the story continue, actually, given that most animated sequels either have nothing to do with the first one, or just have some kind of stupid gimmick. The only difference now is that some of the voice actors have been replaced. Peeps is still Hugh Laurie, but now the Snow Queen is voiced by Julia McKenzie, the same actor who played Frida, which is a bit odd. Anyway, this one starts with the Snow Queen still trapped in ice, and I have to say, the opening theme is pretty cool. So Dimly returns to take Frida home, but the trolls still have to sort out their luggage before they can go, which is exactly the kind of thrilling plot point I expect from a movie like this. They do sing a catchy song though, which, so help me, I kind of like.
Cooperation, cooperation. It's the topper to the proper operation. Cooperation, cooperation.
But how do they light up the stairs in a place with no electricity? Back home, Ellie meets up with Peeps again, and apparently it's spring now, even though it's only been a day since the first movie, which was set in the dead of winter. Oh, and Ellie's brother Tom is bedridden to write him out of the movie.
Grandma's made him stay in bed after his adventure and given him one of her secret herbal folk remedies.
Poor old Tom.
Meanwhile, the Snow Queen's bats use the power of her staff to unfreeze her, and she catches the trolls just before they can leave with Dimly.
What are you doing?
Well, we was, in point of fact, just capturing the reindeer for your majesty, your majesty.
But the trolls are complete turncoats, and they agree to work with the Snow Queen again, while Dimly gets captured. What kind of sack can you just stuff a reindeer into? Since it's spring now, the Snow Queen decides to move to her other palace at the South Pole, but not before singing a song about her evil plan first.
I cannot be defeated. I'm the Queen of Cold.
Chilling stuff. And what do you mean you can't be defeated? Weren't you defeated in the first movie?
Just in case you've forgotten, I'm the Queen of Cold.
While Ellie is out with Peeps, the Snow Queen leaves a puddle message for Ellie, telling her that she has Dimly in her clutches.
Oh.
What is it with these festive movies and crying helpless reindeer?
How dare she do that to poor old Dimly? Frida's spell didn't last all that long, did it?
Ellie sets off to rescue Dimly, while the Snow Queen and her crew arrive at her new palace, where she has these perplexing penguins to do all the cleaning for her.
Work is all we do.
That's loyalty.
Loyalty to who?
To royalty.
Ask me if I care.
I relish all.
Life is so unfair.
Protocol.
You know, it's a crazy movie when even the cleaning ladies get their own theme song. The trolls lock Dimly down in the dungeons, which is pretty cruel, but at least they have a moral discussion about it.
You've only known him 5 minutes, so he hardly qualifies as a friend.
I feel sorry for this guy. He and Rudolph should meet up sometime. Since Ellie doesn't know where the Snow Queen's new palace is, Peeps takes her to see a huge bird called Brenda, who's supposedly some kind of genius who knows everything, like how to cram another song into the movie.
So it's only fair to warn you, she'll enlighten and inform you in a word. She's your bird.
You know, this song has been living in my head for years. This is the type of thing you sing along to every day when you're 3. So they ask Brenda for advice, but it turns out she's just a big bird brain.
Anything more complicated than 2 and 2 make 5 may have to wait.
2 and 2 make...
Yes, dear. 5.
Still, she does know the Snow Queen has a palace at the South Pole and agrees to fly them there. But when they get hungry, they decide to stop at the services for a bite to eat, where the restaurant is run by evil Miss Piggy.
How can I become the most famous and successful chef in the world if all we serves is egg and chicks?
But when the pigs spot Brenda, they decide to capture her and cook her for dinner. Get it? The pigs are the butchers? How ironic. They nab Brenda and try to boil her alive, which of course they're incapable of doing without singing about it.
The accolades will never cease when I cook my masterpiece.
I think this is the only song in these movies I don't really like. It's just kind of bland and droning.
Buttered and coated with tenderizer, chewy, soft and juicy, and none the wiser.
So once Ellie spots the big bird is on the menu, Peeps distracts the pigs, and Ellie rescues Brenda by crushing the pigs in cold blood, before they make their escape in... Brum? Back on the road, Skye, Ellie and Peeps quickly fall asleep, and slip off Brenda's back into the ocean, where they get rescued by 2 rejects from an episode of Arthur. Turns out they're on a ship called the SS Quagmire, but I don't even have to explain this because they can't stop singing about it.
We're the crew of the SS Quagmire. We're in search of the riches of the sea.
Seriously, what's up with all these songs? It's just getting strange now, especially when singing in movies already confuses me enough to begin with. Like, how does everyone know all the words and how to stay in tune just spontaneously out of nowhere? Is everyone just a musical expert in these movies? It seems like these 2 are nice enough at first, but the moment Ellie reveals that the Snow Queen is after them, the pair decide to hold them ransom and hand them over to the Snow Queen for a big reward. By singing about it, of course.
Now that we know that they're wanted by royalty, they're bound to see a big change in our loyalty.
Being the captain, I have the authority to make delivery a major priority.
I mean, I don't believe this. How quick was that betrayal? It's like every animated movie back then was all about characters who can't stay nice for more than 5 seconds.
SS Quagmire. Sail away.
So they trick Ellie into a giant game of Screwball Scramble and lock her in a cage. After about 5 years have passed, Brenda notices that they're missing and returns to rescue them, causing the shipmates to get into a bit of a domestic.
You're completely futile!
Oh, well, that's a bit rich, coming from someone with the brains of a carrot.
Don't you speak to me like that! Mommy was right about you!
When they finally reach the palace, the Snow Queen has just finished building her new evil super weapon, a giant ice pterodactyl. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. But since Ellie and Peeps are still locked in the cage, Brenda sets off to find help, only to get frozen in about 2 seconds by the monster. What an oracle she is. Things look hopeless for our heroes, but don't you worry, Peeps knows just how to cheer everyone up.
Our lifeless bodies will lie in the vast frozen waste forever.
But it turns out that Peeps kept a trinket from Frida, which morphs into a crowbar they use to escape. Pretty nifty gadget. While they thaw out Brenda, Dimly is in big trouble and tries to get the cleaning penguins to let him out. I can't believe I just used the words cleaning penguins in a sentence.
Could you help me?
It speaks. They don't usually speak, do they, Pearl?
What do you mean they don't usually speak? You speak. Every creature speaks in this movie. How can it be a surprise to you? Ellie and Peeps tried to get into the palace, but the penguins aren't having it.
We've come to inspect the stables.
Certainly not. Go away.
Now that's saying something when the cleaning ladies are more effective than the actual guards. But Ellie traps them inside a giant bubble. Looks like fun, actually. and they reach Dimly just as the Snow Queen's reindeers are about to devour him. They try to escape on Dimly, but the Icysaurus attacks, and Ellie has to deflect a beam from the Snow Queen to defeat it. It crashes into the ice, but awakens a dormant volcano, and all of a sudden, this is where the movie gets really dark. Yeah, I'm not joking. Everything starts to crumble into pieces, and something about this red filter with the Snow Queen screaming always kind of creeped me out. So the Snow Queen tries to flee, but she ends up plummeting into the lava. How family friendly. Brenda saves the others just in time, about the only smart thing she's done in this movie, and I guess the trolls and the penguins survived too, but how they managed to escape that raging volcano is completely beyond me.
Of course, I knew it'd be alright in the end, what with Brenda and Frida.
Now, after all that, you'd think the Snow Queen really would be dead for good this time, but then her eyes start glowing again. It's kind of disturbing. I mean, what is that, like Cape Fear or something? As a kid, it always made me wonder if they make a third movie to finish off a trilogy, like The Snow Queen Strikes Back or something. But nope, this is all we got, and honestly, maybe that's for the best. So that was the Snow Queen duology, I guess, an odd pair of animated obscurities that I doubt anyone remembers, unless you happen to grow up with the VHS tapes. Personally, I always enjoyed them, and I don't actually think they're that horrible. Yeah, they're not top-grade Disney material or anything, but compared to last year's Rudolph movie, these are a much better effort. There's actually a pretty strong voice cast of some classic British actors, which helps a lot, and while the animation isn't mind-blowing, it's not the worst I've seen either, and the songs are surprisingly catchy for the most part, if only because they've been stuck in my mind for so many years. Even some of the visuals are neat as well. So yeah, they might be very bizarre movies, but I guess you could call them a festive guilty pleasure, so if you're in a wintry mood, you might just want to chill out with the Snow Queen. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas!